Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Today on the show, I interview Charlotte Pleasance. Charlotte is originally from New Zealand, but now calls Paris home. We talk about her new theater group, Alchemy Theatre, and how they're planning a show at a chateau in Normandy. Welcome to the show, Charlotte. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. It feels like spring is coming, finally.
Yeah.
Although it's quite cold outside still.
Yeah.
Flowers are out at least, which we appreciate that. And I'm so happy to finally chat with you. You are a woman doing many things, and I want to talk about all those things today. But I want to go back to the beginning. And how did you come to France? What is your story of arriving to Paris, and where are you from?
I am originally from New Zealand, and I came to France in 2015, so long ago now, 2015, I think. And I came here on a total whim. I was lucky I rolled up before Brexit with a British passport, so I was considered European and could immediately work.
Golden days.
I know. And yeah, I was planning on moving to England, but was here at the end of a bit of a European trip. And just happened upon a job. And I had family friends to stay with. So I thought, I'll live here.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that to people because people always ask, like, how did you move to Paris? How did you do it? I'm like, you just show up and like things either fall together or they don't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like your way of saying is like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, go home.
Yeah, totally.
And so you've been here for quite some time now, and you work with many different theater groups. You even started your own theater work. But I want to go back to the beginning of all that. So talk a little bit about what you do here. You're a director, a producer, an actress. Talk about all of it.
Oh my goodness, where to start? I don't know. Where do you want me to start?
Yeah. So where did you start? Did you start as an actor?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yes. When I first got here, I realized the theater scene was hard to crack, to get into. And I realized what a lot of people that I knew or who I'd met were doing was basically just making it happen for themselves or for other people. And so I thought, okay, great. I'm going to do that too. And so as well, I wanted to create a theater company, but I didn't know a lot of people at that point, a lot of talented people that I could create work with. So I actually started my own scratch night, which is basically like a curated open mic for theater is how I describe it. You have 10 minutes to perform whatever you like, and then that's it. It's basically a chance to workshop a character or try a new piece of writing or read aloud an excerpt from a play. And I called it Tapis Théâtre, tapis meaning rug, théâtre meaning theater.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and the stage is a rug. And so it's meant to be, a casual stage to try out new ideas.
And how did it go? Did people immediately respond to that and say, yeah, I want to do this? And did you do it in like a cafe?
I did it in my apartment.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I was lucky to have quite a big apartment in Le Marais, and we basically did it, I think, in the apartment maybe 3 or 4 times, basically gutted the lounge, made a bit of a performance space, and performed there for the first year, and then I upgraded to an art gallery in the 7th, which is not bad.
Nice.
Yeah. And then basically from that met a variety of people, and then put on Midsummer Night's Dream in Montmartre in an amphitheater.
Oh, so fun. I was telling you, I love that theater. It's right on First Street. It's so beautiful. It's an outdoor amphitheater. And that's such a great play to put on there too, especially being outside and everything like that. And so basically you're saying you created your network. Like you were saying, it's hard to break in. And so you just made it happen. I think that's really admirable. And things just kind of fall together from there. Like you met actors, you met
producers, you know. Was it pretty easy from there?
I feel like doing anything in Paris is never easy.
Yeah, complicated.
You have to really have the drive and want to make it happen. So yeah, there was definitely things that would occur that were, you know, could have set us back, could have made us want to stop going. But yeah, you just push through until you can't keep pushing through anymore, I guess.
Yeah, and do you think that's one of the keys to your success is like your network here?
Yeah, for sure. I was, considering sort of my inspirations and that sort of thing before doing this podcast. And I think a lot of what inspires me and helps me succeed is surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me, or people who have different skills, people who can bring something to the table that I can't, that can open my eyes to new ideas. Yeah, I think having a strong network and having a strong community in any country is a key to success.
For sure. I mean, it was the same thing for me when I arrived here as a photographer. I just joined every group possible, and I was like, I need to make friends. I need to make a network.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just kind of lonely. You're like, what am I doing here? What is my purpose?
Totally.
You jumped right in, it sounds like. And now you run Alchemy Theatre. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. It's a collective for now. I'm not the sole leader. But yes, Alchemy Theatre we formed this year. It's super exciting. The idea with the name of the company, it actually there's two ideas with it, in that alchemy is like the original magic, if you will, like the precursor to science, turning something banal into something amazing. But also in French, alchemy is what actors have on stage if they're working well together. In English, we call it chemistry, but in French, it's alchemy.
I like that more, actually.
Yeah.
All this talk, all this new age stuff about the alchemists and alchemy, and all these actors talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what exactly does it mean? So it's kind of like mad.
Yeah. So
manifesting. Great name.
So yeah, we're doing the Taming of the Shrew, Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, this summer. And I'm co-directing and co-producing with another very talented woman, Anthea Freya-Hill. And we actually just had our first rehearsal last night, which is so exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And I like that we're continuing on the Shakespeare route, because you acted in many Shakespeare films before this. And why Shakespeare?
Why Shakespeare? There's several reasons. Shakespeare, for me, was always like la base. I always thought I would, like in high school, I did a lot of Shakespeare because I was like, if you can do Shakespeare, you can probably do anything. And I just kind of stuck to Shakespeare. It's always an interesting challenge as an actor, because, you know, you have to do the task of any actor of, you know, unpacking your character, understanding their drive, understanding, you know, all the varieties of things that come with creating a character. But then the other layer with Shakespeare is that you have to understand the text, and you get to unpack all this beautiful poetry and play around with that. And then the other layer to it is that Shakespeare is a name that is known globally. So performing in English in Paris, choosing something like maybe Tennessee Williams, or I don't know, a British playwright or an American playwright, it narrows your audience. Whereas Shakespeare is something that many people know, and
they want to know, even if they don't know, they want to know, right?
Yeah.
Have to know. It's like it's a name. We have to know. It's kind of like Van Gogh or something. It's like, I don't really know anything about them. I know I'm supposed to like it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of why Shakespeare.
And talk a little bit about going from actor to producer to director. I mean, what is that like going on the other side?
Yeah. I've always produced and acted at the same time. So it's actually really nice to just be like producing and directing. So for Tapis Théâtre and with Cygnet Theatre, my previous theatre company, I was often wearing multiple hats. So with Tapis, I was curating the night, I was hosting the evening, but also putting the whole thing together. And then with Cygnet, I was always acting in a production, but also doing a lot of behind the scenes work. And so it's kind of nice to just be doing behind the scenes work.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, we know what that's like when we're first starting out. We do all the things until we can have enough money to build something to have other people involved and things like that. Yeah.
Totally.
And we'll talk about the difference between a director and a producer.
Well, I mean, the director is more creative. It's, you know, they're the person managing the direction of the show, what happens on stage and how to materialize a particular vision in both acting, costume, music, staging, all of that, set. And then producing is all of the logistical stuff, like finding the right venue, communicating with vendors, sorting out ticketing, marketing the event, organizing like the rehearsal schedule. That's kind of stage managerial, but we're kind of combining the stage management and producing together. So yeah, that's sort of the difference.
And are you enjoying taking a step back from being on stage and just focusing on behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's something that I have done before. I worked as a teacher actually. So I've directed teens and children, which is different to adults. But also, leading up to this production, we, as a collective of about 12, we ran something that we called the Director's Lab, where we would get together every second week and basically workshop scenes as a group. And I took on a directing role in that. So yeah, it's something I've done before. And yeah, it's super exciting to have a whole different set of needs when going into a rehearsal room. There's different things that I'm now preparing for before rehearsal. You know, previously it would be learning lines. It would be analyzing my own character and kind of, you know, thinking about all that. But whereas a director, you're looking at the bigger picture of the whole play and how the scene fits in, where you're going to need these characters to be at the end of the scene. It's super, super interesting, but we're very early days. So
but it's fun to explore some different things, you know, because it can only help. All the things can help each other in the end, right? Because you're already doing both at the same time and you're just bringing it all together now in a whole different way, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
And as someone who's worked in theater for such a long time, can you talk about some of the differences between theater in France, for example, from other parts of the world? Like, have you seen things done differently here? Or what are some things you've noticed that are different in the theater world?
I think things are done very traditionally here in some theaters. I have found some theaters that I really love who do work that is really different and you know, challenging boundaries and all that, which is something that I really love. And I particularly like theater that is more grassroots, where a collective is working together to build something. You don't really see as much of that here. Maybe it's because France has more money than New Zealand.
Yeah.
But I think, it's a lot more traditional, and I think sometimes that is a detriment because it means that you have to follow a particular rules, and it means that sometimes I feel like the theater here isn't as forward thinking as it is in some other countries.
Yeah, definitely, because France is all about tradition and keeping things the same, right? Which is what makes it beautiful, but also sometimes complicated.
Totally.
Yeah. And so are there many places in Paris to see theater performed in English? I know we're in France, we should be speaking French, but have you found the world here is open to that? Or we find
No. I mean, like the Théâtre de la Ville sometimes has shows in English. I'm going to see Othello at the Odeon, and it's going to have surtitres in English. It's not going to be performed in English. So there are occasionally some things in English, but yeah, it's definitely, there's not an endless selection of English language theater here, which I find, a shame, because there is a huge international community living in Paris who are both native English speakers or English is a shared language. So I think there's a huge opportunity for more English language theater here.
Yeah, and I love that it's like this young group of people like yourself and those you're working with that are bringing it in the 2000s, you know?
Whoa.
It's do that.
Yeah.
This has been such a creative hub for so long.
Yeah.
It's just surprising that it hasn't happened sooner, being such an international city too. But I love that you guys are making it happen. And when you want to put on a show in a theater, like, how does that work? Do you have to reach out to the theater, get permission, pay them? Like, walk us through the process.
Yeah, I mean, there is generally a lot of red tape. There are procedures that some theater companies go through where you go to like a festival to basically that other theaters come to see your work, and then hopefully they will have you on in their theater for the following year. We've always been able to perform at venues that do things slightly differently. So with Cygnet Theatre, we performed at Les Jardins des Arènes de Montmartre, and that was actually, is it technically a public garden? And you apply through the Town Hall of Paris to get that venue. And so it's not considered actually a theatre. So there was less red tape there. This, for the Taming of the Shrew, we are actually performing at a chateau. So we're going to be performing in front of a private chateau outside of Paris. So again,
that's really cool.
Yeah, not a theatre, but an incredible venue.
Okay, count me in. I'm going.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We're teaming up with, I think you know her, Jane Webster.
Oh yeah, for sure I know Jane. I've filmed and videoed at her chateau many times.
So yeah, it's been super exciting. We've been kind of back and forth. I've actually gone out to the chateau myself, and yeah, it's really exciting. We're going to be performing on the steps in front of the chateau, and there will be areas for people to sit and dine on the grass. We'll have picnics and food and drink available, all that. So super exciting.
It's like a full-on event. And what are the dates?
So it will be the 20th, the 22nd, and the 23rd of July.
Very exciting. Okay, I need to mark my calendar ASAP.
Great.
Everybody mark your calendars. You're going to be, and actually that's a great time because I feel like a lot of tourists are in Paris at that time.
Totally. Exactly. So.
And where can people get tickets? Like, we can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, exactly. We will have released tickets by now when the podcast is out. So that it'll be all the information will be on our Instagram for sure, which is Alchemy Theatre.
Okay. And what is the importance of theater in today's society, in your opinion?
I think theater should reflect society and should reflect issues that are coming up, and help audiences pose questions or answer questions for themselves or start discussions. It's something that with Alchemy we're really trying to do with the Taming of the Shrew. Taming of the Shrew is by and large about gaslighting and domestic abuse. And so with this production, we're actually working with an intimacy coordinator to make sure that intimacy and fight coordinator to make sure that we do all of the choreography correctly and don't harm our actors in the process. But we're also looking to collaborate with local associations that work in this world to make sure that when we are staging moments of domestic abuse or moments of where Petruchio is gaslighting Katerina, that, well, we don't do it wrong, that we don't do it and just make it up and think like, yeah, this is probably what it's like.
Oh my goodness, it's really great though that you're making it like realistic, and it's kind of crazy to me that the issues from Shakespearean times are still the issues of today, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's also why Shakespeare, you asked earlier, why Shakespeare, there's so many things that are still relevant about his plays, and unfortunately what was problematic then and ultimately was kind of funny to Shakespearean audiences, but now it's not funny. What is happening in this play. It is technically a comedy, and there are moments, and we hope that our audience will find and be charmed by so many of the characters in our play, because there are really hilarious moments, but then there should be moments that shock you and make you question, oh wow, why was I just laughing at that person and now they've done this really problematic thing? Yeah. Because that's what happens still to this day with domestic abuse and misogyny.
Yeah, we're just not laughing through it anymore. There's the whole cancel culture. There's people speaking up now. There's people being supported for what's happened to them. Yeah. Where in the past, it was just kind of like, walk it off, don't talk about it. And now I mean, in your opinion, how do we find balance? Because there are these two extremes right now where it's like we're completely like just canceling people and then things they did like maybe 10 years ago, and then another like based on just ignoring it completely and letting bad things happen. So where do you think there is that medium of what we can do, to do things the right way? I mean, I guess this is a pretty big question, but in your opinion, you can go theater.
Oh my gosh, for theater. Yeah, well, it was a good discussion that I had recently because there's a politician in Parliament here in France that was recently allowed back in after news came out that he had struck, or there had been a moment of domestic abuse between he and his wife, and the Parliament let him back in. And yeah, I had this discussion with my partner, and I think at least a lot of these discussions happen with men. It's like, oh, should we continue to like excuse this man? It's like it's frustrating because it's never the other way around, because also it's generally not the woman that is the abuser.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh yeah, let's let the man go back to his job, or let's like not cancel him. But it's like, oh well, the woman who has been abused has detrimental effects that will affect her for whoever knows how long. So they themselves are cancelled, I suppose, out of their life in some ways. It's like, I think it's definitely a really tricky question for sure.
Yeah, there is no easy answer.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're bringing attention to it, we're having conversations, and even creating art around it.
Yeah.
I think it makes it easier to talk about, easier to understand.
Totally. Exactly.
And how do you keep your work evolving and inspired? What do you do on a daily basis to help yourself be up to date in your creativity and evolving?
I think a big thing that I love about Paris is how many creative people are here. And for me, my work is not an individual sport. It is collaborative. And so something that helps me stay up to date is surrounding myself with, really creative people. Even for this production, working with an intimacy coordinator. This is a new thing for us. And it's because, a great friend of mine has been training in intimacy coordination for an entire year. And so it was like, great, let's have you on. And then having her working on the show brings up all these new ideas and all these, interesting problems for us to solve. And as well, I think making sure I'm, going to theater, going to interesting music, concerts, going to art galleries. There's certainly a plethora of this in Paris. So I also find staying engaged creatively is also incredibly helpful.
For sure. I mean, it's all great advice. And what advice would you give to people who feel they're not creative in any way? They don't have any creative talents. What would you say to them? How would you help them find what they're good at creativity wise?
That's so hard. Because I think in some ways, sometimes I feel like that. I'm like, do I actually have anything to offer? I think a lot of people actually feel like that, frankly. Even
they do,
artists.
Yeah, I hear it all the time, and they're like, "Oh, you do all this stuff, and I don't do anything." And it's like there's creativity in everything in our lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think my advice is just give whatever it could be a go. That's basically what I've always done. Not having access to creative people or a theater group, I was like, all right, let's just start it. I know not everyone can necessarily do that, but it could be in your own personal way to give whatever interests you just a go. Take the class, go to the thing, talk to the person, start the conversation, because you never really know where it could lead. Those are my favorite things to do, is to start the conversation and see what could happen, see what could come from it.
I completely agree. I think we just have to all be doers. I think a lot of times we're just dreamers. We're like, oh, I'd like to be an actor. I'd like to be a singer. We just keep thinking about it. It's a matter of just jumping in and doing the thing, even if you're not good at it, even if you have no idea what you're doing. I mean, it's so funny to hear what you said, even as a director, producer, actor, you're like, oh, I don't think I'm creative some days. So like, we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really nice to hear that from someone who does so many things. You know, you're not alone, audience.
Yeah.
And where can people connect with you online and follow your projects and learn more?
Totally. So I'm Charlotte Pleasance on Instagram. I've got a little underscore, Charlotte Pleasance underscore, because Charlotte Pleasance was already taken. And Alchemy Theatre. Those are the two main accounts to follow.
Perfect. We'll share everything in the show notes, as well as where you can buy tickets to the upcoming show this July. We're so excited to see that. And thanks so much for sharing your talents with us today, Charlotte.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.